Hi everyone, it's Sunday, so it's time to talk about the book I've been reading this week. Sorry, it's a bit darker than usual. As I've got a really busy day today. I'm filming this like first thing in the morning, so yeah, it's pretty dark outside. So forgive the dullness of the and the quality of the picture today. Um, but yes, time to talk about the book I've been reading this week. And this week it was a reread of a book that I really like, and it is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This is a book, as I said, I've read a few times. It was either one of, or it was the first Neil Gaiman book that I've read, and I just fell in love with it. It was my kind of fantasy world. I think that's why I really have a great love for Neil Gaiman. It's so great that it's this big kind of fairy story, inspired by some little limericks and little fairy stories that already exist, and bringing them together, but also expanding this kind of total new material and all this lot into it, and telling the story of a boy called Tristan. So yeah, Tristan is our main guy of Stardust, but the book actually begins with his dad, because his dad lives in a village, and as does Tristan, but I'll just explain the backstory of his dad first. In a village called Wall. It's set in Victorian times, this book, just so you know. So it's about how our world meets a fantasy kind of world. And on the edge of Wall is a wall with a bit of a hole in it, and there's guards on either side of the wall to make sure people don't go out and people from the other side don't come in, because on the other side of the wall is a land called Fairy, which is full of magic and mystical creatures and all that lot. But every 9 years there is a market that is held where people from from the village are able to cross over to to see the markets and buy things, and then obviously return. So there is every 9 years this event which allows the two worlds to meet, as it were. And Dunstan goes to the market and meets a girl called Una, who is a slave, basically. She can her owner turn her into a bird and chain her up and such, and so that she can't escape. But they meet, they kind of fall for each other. One thing leads to another, and 9 months later, when he's gotten married to the girl that he loves, and she's pregnant, expecting a child, he gets a knock at the door. He opens the door, and there's a baby in a basket, saying his name's Tristan. It's and he's your son, and he has to then take care of this child. Fast forward about 16, 17 years later or something, and Tristan has grown up. It's very much, he's been kept away from the market every time it's when it's come, he or anything to do with fairy at all. He always gets sent away, and then but he's fallen in love with a girl called Victoria Forrester, who is this real kind of most beautiful girl in the village. All the boys want her, kind of thing, along with Tristan, and give her absolutely anything. And when they're having a kind of meeting, as it were, he says they see a star, shooting star, and it crashes to the ground in Fairy, and he said, "I will go across the wall and I will bring that star back to you. And if I do that, will you marry me?" And she says yes, obviously thinking that's never going to happen. So he goes off on his journey to Fairy. Dunstan is really nice because he helps Tristan get through the wall past the guards, and then waves his son goodbye, knowing that he has to go off on this this adventure and everything. And it's all about what Tristan then does. And I love the fact that it's a story where it is a guy who doesn't quite understand his place in the world. He feels like he's an outsider. As soon as he goes into the land of fairy, suddenly he knows, like, he doesn't need a map for anything. He knows exactly which direction he needs to go to get where he needs to be. He remembers, because he was a great reader as a child, so he knows the fairy stories and little songs and limericks and such to do with like there's this whole confrontation of a unicorn and a lion, which is in a fairy story. I can't recall which one, I'm afraid, and or a song or something, and he remembers what it is and he's able to resolve the situation. You know, there's little things like that. He's very comfortable in fairy. But at the same time, in fairy, you had this situation where the star fell out the sky because the king threw a token at it and knocked it out. The king is dying. He's had, I think it's 8 sons, 7 or 8 sons. 4 of them are dead. So there's, no, it is 7. Sorry, it is 7, yeah. 4 of them are dead. 3 of them are still alive. The 4 that are dead have killed each other off in order to get the crown, basically. And he says, and he throws this thing and topaz at the star and knocks it out, and he says, whoever can will bring back the star, and the will be able to be king and love it for what it is and all this lot. And so the remaining 3 set off on this mission to go and find the star and also kill each other off in the process in order to become king. So you've got that going on. At the same time, you've got these three witches in this cottage sees the star fall. Now the 3 witches want the star as well, because if they consume the star, its soul, it's in what they term a year's jar, because it's a jar with something in it. It means that they're able to use that to go from old haggard women to be young again. So they need the star in order to stay alive. So they set off on a mission to go off and find the star. But what's great is that what I love about it is that the star isn't a physical star. When it lands on fairy, it transforms into this beautiful girl called Yvan. Yvan's very... oh God, I can't think the word. She's very bold. She gets really angry at Tristan when she first meets him. She's throwing mud at him and she doesn't want him, and she gets really angry and really hard. But she's also so loving and so generous and beautiful, and I love her. I think she's a really, really stunning character, just in general, and the fact that it's a fairy world and everything, the mythical side of it. I love the fact that she, like the whole thing of, because she's a star, what she does, she shines and all this lot, but deep down inside of it, what's in the soul of a star? What does it think? What does it feel? I love the fact that Neil Gaiman comes up with these characters and asks all of these questions, and they're so significant and true to real life. And Tristan has the same thing of, I don't understand where I fit in the world. I don't understand, you straight in front of me, but I can understand this section. They help each other. And there's lots of adventures that they go through, individually and together as well. I love the ending. I think the ending is stunning. Obviously, I'm not going to give the ending away or anything. I love that Neil Gaiman is so clever with all of his twists and turns, and the way that he writes. I'm always, whenever I read one of his books, apart from the Ocean at the End of the Lane, because I didn't get along with that one, but all of his other books, I love how he is able to write so naturally, and in regards to that, you've got so many characters doing so many things, but you don't get lost. You don't feel that things are opening up that you don't understand, or you're spending too far away from characters to be able to keep track of what's going on. It feels comfortable. It feels like like a friend is talking to you, and that's what I just love about him. He's such a good writer. I wish I could write like him. He's absolutely stunning. And this book, I mean, it's only a thin book. It's only like 190 pages long, so it's not a big book at all. But so much happens in this story. You'd think it should be twice as long. That he is able to write it so naturally and so freely. It's wonderful. I absolutely adore it. Yeah, I love Tristan. I love Ivan especially. I just love the world of Stardust. I think it's wonderful. I really strongly recommend this to anyone. Now the film, they made a film version of it. In kind of box office, it didn't do too bad, but because of the year that it was made and everything, and big Hollywood, big blockbuster movies were going on, there was still, I think the Harry Potters was still on and stuff like that. So in comparison to, and Hunger Games and all that, so in comparison to other films out in that year, it flopped, but in general, it didn't do too badly. But anyway, I saw this film. I really, really, really like this film. I also really, really, really like this book. Are they exactly the same? No. No, 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 no. The film takes stuff out, it changes stuff quite a bit. There's certain characters where I prefer them in the book than I do the film, but there's certain characters where I've really, even though obviously the book always holds strong in my heart, I really like the changes that they made to the character in the film. I don't know why. But the film doesn't make, it's not like how, oh, sorry, just bashed it against the table. Like The Woman in Black, for example. I really like the film of The Woman in Black, but I can only really enjoy it if I completely disconnect my mind from the book. Whereas this, I can watch this totally freely and I don't have to worry about disconnecting my mind from the book, because I like them both on completely separate levels, completely separate well, not separate stories, but because of the changes, in a sense it is a completely separate story, the film to the book, but I love them for their own individual uniqueness, their the way they portray the worlds, especially, can I just say, like, oh my god, amazing costume design and cinematography in this film, adore it. The cast are pretty good. I do like that, and like I said, it's one of those situations. It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbits, kind of films, where I go, okay, there are differences, but I don't mind it. I really, really like this film, and even though, yeah, you could argue that some bits are really quite weird and or whatever, I don't care. I love it. End of. So yeah, so I strongly recommend either one of these. Yeah, the Claire Danes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert De Niro, they were all really good in this film. I love the development of Tristan as well in the film, as well as the book. He's such an interesting actor, because he goes from this really timid, boy who works in a shop, who, is kind of left out the loop of a lot of things, who's just really, really, really in love with this really lovely girl. Well, not lovely, but, beautiful girl in the village. And he grows to be such a strong character and such, a force to be reckoned with, and he just takes everything and loves it, and his eyes are always open to everyone, and he accepts everyone for who they are and doesn't try to judge anyone. He's just a wonderful, wonderful character as Tristan. And I think he's very much the human soul, as it were, of the readers that Neil Gaiman wanted to connect to and regard, and that thing that just because you're the odd person out doesn't mean that you're not valid, but that you should be ignored, that you've got nothing to contribute, because you've got so much to contribute to the world. And yeah, I absolutely adore Tristan. I think he's wonderful. But anyway, I'm going to stop now because it's been, oh gosh, 14 minutes already. So yeah, so Neil Gaiman's Stardust, recommend the book to anyone, as well as the film. One thing I will say, this is head up to just something, because I've been recommended to listen to the audiobook that has been actually written, has been recorded by Neil Gaiman. He's reading his own work. I haven't come across it. I haven't had a chance this week to even look it up, because I was intending to look it up and everything before I did this video, but work as usual being mega crazy, I just haven't had the time to do that. So I am planning to do that, to look at the audiobook. I've been recommended it, been told it's absolutely fantastic. Neil Gaiman reading it. So I will say, on behalf of those who recommended it to me, I will recommend it on to you as well, even though technically I haven't listened to it. But yeah, if you want to check out the audiobook, do. And as usual, I'll be back soon with another video announcing what I'm going to be reading for the next week. Alright then, guys, I hope you liked this. If you've read this book, I'd love to know what you think. You leave me comments in the comments box below. Or if you want to show me what you think of it in another way, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, entirely up to you. That, yeah, I will be back soon with my next video. Alright then, bye!